And so what Satan is meant to destroy us is actually absolutely powerless.
Welcome back to Hope Nation, and right now we're midway through the chapter of Psalm 91. Pastor Rodney, would you want to give us a summary of what we have discussed so far?
Well, we've had a lot of encouragement from Psalm 91, but I think the key verse is the first one. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. And I think the psalmist from there just gives us a great portrait and some encouraging words, not only during our crisis here with the virus, but I think it's hit even every crisis, whether it's family or finances or job situation or travel, all of that. But that picture is one of strength that provides protection, a refuge, a shield, a defender around us. And it's just very encouraging that no matter where the enemy attacks, we're protected on every side.
That's very beautiful to hear, Pastor, and thank you for that summary. But also, I can picture in my head like a battle, and we're on the defense. You mentioned a defender. But when we're on the defense, is that the whole picture? That can't be it, right? What encouragement does the psalm give us?
I love your question. I think the psalmist almost anticipates that question. Like if you're in the middle of the battle, there has to be a winner. There has to be a loser, a conqueror, or one that's been conquered. And so up until now, it's the defense. But I think in verse 7, it changes. When it says, 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not approach you. So God promises us that we'll be able to see and stand right there in front. So we're not crouching, we're not hiding, we're not just in the shelter, but God says in his word that he's going to actually bring us to victory. And it says even though that those may fall at our side, the diseases, the hardship, the pain, but as a believer in Christ, God promises us that we'll be able to see and we'll be able to stand. And nothing, and Paul says, we're more than conquerors through him who loved us. So even in the New Testament, it rings true that victory belongs to us. Instead of maybe cringing or shrinking, maybe we can stand and see that the victory is the Lord's.
Just the sound of victory is so reassuring, just that word. But I also want to be sensitive, Pastor, to those people who still feel overwhelmed with the current situation. That even though they try to look at victory as the final point, they're struggling right now. What is your word of encouragement for them?
I think sometimes, honestly, whether you're raising small kids or you're in school or you're rough patching your marriage, sometimes, honestly, survival is success. Sometimes. But I think God has more of a definition of success, and it is conquest. I love what Spurgeon says. He's one of my favorite Baptist pastors from years before, but he says, when Satan's quivers shall be empty, thou shalt remain uninjured by his craft and cruelty. Yea, his broken darts shall be to thee as trophies of the truth and the power of the Lord your God. And so what Satan is meant to destroy us is actually absolutely powerless. And I think I got to see it maybe on a personal note with the death of my father 30 years ago. And I saw his body deteriorate even though he faithfully served the Lord. And he was bedridden for the last several years. But as his physical life waned, his spiritual strength soared. And there was such a peace about him that was more than surviving, more than just enduring. It was actually conquest. And I think the writer of Hebrews says there's such a cloud of witnesses surrounding us. They're the ones who made it through. And we're entering into that arena as victorious, not as survivors. So be encouraged. Today, know that you are a conqueror in Jesus Christ. And the Lord will bring the victory.
If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up and share it to your friends. Share the hope around. Subscribe to our channel, IBC Singapore, so you can receive notifications for our next episodes. If you have any questions or comments, type it in the comment section below. Until next time.